Which would you rather? Go into a race slightly overtrained or go into a race slightly undertrained? Remy, what do you think?
What I'm actually thinking is it's wintertime over there in Australia, but beautiful sunshine here in Ethiopia. You want to just...
All right, here I come.
All right, everyone. Daren here, 1% Better Runner. I got Remy. Be real. We are in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, over here at the, what suburb are we in? What area?
This is Beset Gabriel.
We talk about polarizing things with this or that. So you might have seen previous episodes where we talked about, would you rather be training cold or hot weather? Would you rather
mornings or evenings?
Run or bike commute, etc. And this one, as we alluded to early on, is about
overtraining
versus
undertraining.
There we go. We're stepping in puddles right now, running on this track. I'm gonna take the side of overtraining and a bit more of undertraining. And the reason why, because you need to sometimes go hard. And you sometimes need to swing that pendulum all the way over to the right, overcommit to everything to find out your maximum limits, right? With that upper limit, you then learn, okay, that's a bit too much for me. Next time I can't do that. But there's a risk in overtraining and coming into a race overcooked, as we said earlier. And that risk is burning out too quickly. And then not being able to recover. So it's like the dose is the poison. And it's like, if you go too much over, you now can be out for 2, 3, 4 weeks, months.
And sabotage that race day performance.
Absolutely. You might not be able to be fresh for race day. So yes, you don't know how much over is if you're new, but pros, they really, really need to make sure that they go as hard as possible. And they know the risk reward is that they will hurt themselves, but the reward is that they'll win the race. They'll win $200,000. They'll get that Nike contract. So it's worth it for pros. For amateurs, I don't think being overtrained and overcooked going to a race is worth it personally.
Absolutely not.
But in that same breath, I went into my last race overtrained. My marathon at Ballarat. Great times, try to go sub 3, etc. But I tried to do too much volume. And I actually didn't burn myself out by going too hard. I did too much volume, which it's either volume or going too fast. One of them's gonna burn you out, or both of them at the same time, right? So I think I have a theory. I'm one of one. I am my only experiment. As much as I love science, I can't experiment myself and create controls and variables. I think that I could have done the same race time. I overcooked myself going into the race when I should have done less.
For sure.
Now the problem with less is,
are you ready?
Are you ready? And that is an experience thing. That's a trust in the process. So I'm gonna whip it over to Mr. Remy, and he's gonna talk about undercooked because we actually need to slow down right now. And the reason being is Remy is in a bit of a training a little bit less stage of his life, phase of his life, season of his life.
Yeah.
And you can talk a bit more about that, man.
So
we're also at altitude. So
at altitude, it is undefeated, man.
Yeah.
And talking about properly training versus exercising sounds the same, very different. But undertrained, sometimes you can race yourself into fitness. It may not work for everybody, but on the risk reward side, I would much rather go in knowing that I have the headroom to push a little bit more on race day. I can really see, hey, this could be a hell of a day, and go push my upper limits versus going in already taxed. My upper limit is already at maybe 70, 80% capacity. Maybe I had a protracted training cycle, or life happens sometimes, and being a father, a professional, all these things, so many variables, I have yet to have a perfect training cycle. This time last year, I ran 2 marathons and a half Ironman in the span of 4 months.
And you also getting ready to...
And I was also doing this, planning the logistics to move across the Atlantic Ocean. So a lot of stress, which meant I had to go in undertrained. But you know what? By being slightly undertrained, I was able to stay in the game for all 3 of those events.
That's a good point, sorry. You stay alive. Because that's the point. Stay alive, stay uninjured. You give yourself you can just keep going. And if
sure.
if you burn out, you can't keep going. So keep going, man. That was another point.
The time to recover would have meant I would have missed my last races in the United States. I did not want to jeopardize that. So by all means, play it safe, play it smart, and live to race another day.
Love it. Look, I think there's more to this because we want to talk about being a whole human, because obviously we are runners and, you know, endurance athletes and partners and workers and students or whatever you are.
Complete humans.
And you know what, with this elevation and me adjusting the jet lag and all that, I think we need to go take a quick rest.
Let's take this inside.
Yeah.
That altitude will get you.
Yeah.
It's undefeated.
I know. So somehow ended up on the balcony of this apartment now. We're gonna go into the new section, Healthy Creative Wise, and I'm gonna talk about something, we're both gonna talk about something healthy that's affecting us, fitness, life, whatever, business, work, school.
Something creative that we're really leaning into, and not just doing it for business sake, but because we enjoy it, love to share the creativity. That's the purpose of the start of all of this, really.
And something wise, because we're all learning, experiences, failures, a lot of failures. You should fail 10 times and succeed once.
Yeah, growing and evolving, man.
Yeah, so you start first. What's something healthy that you're doing?
Oh man, in the last 2 months, I've been challenging myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Now, shorts version, I am not a group exercise kind of guy, which is exactly why I feel like I need to introduce that, because in these group HIIT classes, I'm happy to just lift weights and do my thing, sets and reps every time, but once a week, get out, do one of these classes, shake it up, do something that I would not normally do, introduce some new movement, and the upside of it, I can do it with my wife. And that's been real healthy, not just from the physical, but from the emotional standpoint too. So really leaning into that these days.
I love that. I love the bringing in the partner with the fitness, because my partner and I do a lot of fitness together. Sorry, we do fitness separate. We had the kid. We actually don't do fitness together. And when we do, it's awesome. So nice. As he's getting older, as we're getting more babysitters, it is nice to run with my partner, because she's actually a very hardcore runner. She's more hardcore than me. But that's not my healthy thing. So my healthy thing though is I'm not training for a marathon right now. I feel so healthy. I'm able to eat vegetables. And I know you're like, what? It's like, I stopped eating veggies and fiber and fats and heavy protein. I love that. Like I actually eat, I'd say a low to moderate carb diet. I'm not a high carb person, the way I'm made up. And you cannot be low carb going into
distance
marathon.
Running?
Yeah.
And without carbs? Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can try it, but you're not gonna perform to your 100%. Feel free to flame me in the comments. All you low carb people come out of nowhere all the time. Every time I say that, it's like you were waiting, but I ran my fastest marathon in keto. Sure.
And I'm so happy for you, by the way.
Yes. But I've learned that high carbs I perform better, but I feel like trash. So pretty much the 2 to 3 days before, I was carbing up like crazy. Simple carbs too. So I like complex carbs. When I do carbs, I can do sweet potatoes, but they're not the best to be absorbed in your kidneys, liver, muscles, etc.
Sure.
To be used as glycogen. So the carbohydrates turn into glycogen. This is not a nutrition lesson, but the eating killed me. And then also the general anxiety and stress of the marathon.
Oh my gosh. It takes over your entire life.
Yes. And that just didn't feel like I love balance. And 1% better runner, everything's incremental, habits, etc. You can't be unbalanced and have habits and have systems and process and whatnot. So I craved it for the especially last week. And then afterwards, I was sore, I was tired, I was so hungry for days. I had to keep eating more carbs after the day. And luckily, because I was so carb depleted, I could take down simple sugars, and usually I can't drink soda. I don't like soda. I can't eat, just regular candy. But that day or two after the marathon, I was taking it in, no sugar highs, no crashes, because my body needed the carbs.
Just needs it. Your brain needs it. Right?
Yeah, brain needs it. So that was gross. And it gives me the pass to just eat pizza and hot dogs and hamburgers, because I could also eat the greasy foods because your body just needs carbs. But then about 3 days after, we're now 3 weeks after, about 3 weeks after, 3 days after, I shifted back, started getting sleep better. I had time. That was healthy. I had time, bro. I was like, wait, I'm not going for an hour and a half run on a Wednesday.
Listen, it literally takes over everything.
Yeah. I was like, wait, I can be creative. I can just sit around and kind of do nothing, even though it's hard for me to do nothing. I was like, I can do that fun thing. I can research something. I can work on these videos. So yes, that was a nice little thing. I can go on a trip and come see you in Ethiopia.
Oh man.
And I couldn't do that if I was training for the marathon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I could, but that wouldn't be good. So yes, that is I love the ebbs and flows. It's a roller coaster. It's, you go really hard at one thing and then you come down to get balance and you probably swing to I call it being very healthy and not very fit side. And then I come back and get more fit and get less healthy. And it's just this ebbs and flows.
It's funny how those are not the same thing, being healthy and being fit.
That could have been an episode. But we decided to do Undertrained versus Overtrained. That actually is going to be possibly a future episode. I saw in our list of things. So
like and subscribe for future episodes.
Right down below. That little bell.
Future Daren here, and I won't do that thing. You know the thing where people go, hey, you should subscribe, rate, share, give a thumbs up, rah, rah, rah. Now, while I'd love for you to do that anyways, please go ahead and do it. The next steps will be for you to transform your running life with our free 1% Better Runner, 30-day base training habits plan, and newsletter. Unlike other running plans and newsletters, we do not do motivational quick fixes and hacks. Instead, we focus on long-term success that lasts from 30 days to 30 years and more. It's not just a training plan, but a mental shift. Think of it as your personal running therapist. Sign up for free at either dlategcreates.com/news, web search 1% Better Runner newsletter, or get the link in the show notes or video description below. All value, no fluff, cancel anytime. Let's get back into it.
So something creative that you're doing.
You tell me. I mean, we're here. We've been talking shop this whole time. What's something creative? You talked to me about something real creative. I'm hyped about to see when it's all said and done.
The book?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I was like, which one was it? The crazy publishing thing? Yes. So my book, The 1% Better Runner, that is most likely going to be the title, 95% sure. I finished the manuscript. I have never written a book before, and I love reading books. I love listening to audiobooks. I'm a long form content guy. I heard manuscript being floated around. I thought that was like the final thing. You have to have your manuscript turned into the publisher. I don't have a publisher yet. I probably won't. It's going to be self-published. But I found out through a friend who actually, she's a consultant for book writers. She was going to be a client with my production company. Found out she was a consultant, and she went, oh, you have to, I said, oh, so I finally Googled the manuscript, learning how to write a book. So I actually was researching how to write a book, which is really meta, reading a book on how to write a book. And it was like, the manuscript is throw up. And I went, what? And it's like, it's before the first draft.
Just get it out.
But you got to get it all out. Like, you're putting all your chapters together, your transitions. The transitions are rough. Certain things are not making sense, but I put it together right before the trip. It was a huge rush to put the book together because I wanted to do a lot of work on this trip on the plane. I didn't want to just watch videos and whatever. I guess that's all you can do, really. Play video games.
You can sleep.
Sleep, which I did half the time was sleeping. But yeah, it's just watching stuff. It's just watching. That's all you do on a plane. And I was like, you know what? I do that every time. How about I be productive? But I needed the manuscript to be done because I needed to work on other things. These are content related that are going to feed into the 1% Better Runner, courses, group coaching, email, like actual like email kind of lesson, sort of. It's an email course in a way. All these things were predicated on me understanding the 1% Better Runner better, because I needed to finish the manuscript. And that was such a push, and it was so, even though the book is like 50% done, it was like, oh my God, I got like the idea out, and that
Steps, man. You don't get to mile 26.2 without crossing mile 10, right?
Exactly. What, the marathon starts at mile 20, right? At 32 Ks. So it was cool. It was, I don't know, a lot of people talk about finishing a book, and I know I haven't finished it yet, but I was like, yo, I got over the hump. I'm not writing the book anymore. Now I'm in editing phase, which is probably 50% of writing a book is editing. I need to get an editor. Stacy might do it, who's actually been on here. She might help me edit. Early on, we're gonna do a trial run. I gotta edit it. Having an editor for a book is like a relationship.
That's
I need to see if we got the chemistry. Yeah, so that's really exciting. Some content related stuff. I've got a lot of episodes ready and or in a half done state. So there's gonna be a lot more, I wouldn't say different content, a lot of the content that you may have liked, alongside of new types of formats. Remy's helping me edit more of the, we call it run and gun style or vloggy style, where it's actually me out running. And I do like that format, but it's a lot of work for me. and it's not my favorite thing to edit. Remy loves this stuff.
Thankfully, that is so in my bag.
Yes. So we're actually collaborating. We work together with my business, and we're learning a collaboration flow with some of the software. So you might see more of the running gun, me out doing workouts, me out doing races. I don't race that much, but probably more me out doing long runs with people.
Yeah.
Conversation Zone 2, which this is. And I'm really excited about that creatively. So what are you doing?
A lot of the same, actually, and it's exactly an offshoot of that. Editing more content for others. Now, I just absolutely love to edit. Learning in some of our conversations, getting more of my content schedule put together, and figuring out how I'm going to keep the subtle drip and infuse not just my travel vlogs, but also some of the behind the scenes, how I set up certain shots, how you can get it done as well as here are some of the things that I'm working on with others and some handy tips that you can take away to level up your videos. Side note, I also take on clients if you want to have your videos edited.
Travel videos.
Travel videos.
Travel videos?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's focus on travel videos. Yeah. So if you do traveling with your family or you're solo, please hit him up. He can help
so
you
many
edit it.
people go off on a trip, buy a GoPro, fill up an SD card, and it sits in a drawer. So reaching out and talking some of that business strategy and really getting things off the ground. I just really love to tell stories, and it's nice to find a better avenue to put that forward and help others share their stories. And to your point about, working with an editor, being on the other side of it, I feel like I get to know people after you've listened to hours of their voice. Okay, I understand you now. And then also learning to take their feedback and criticism to make some revisions and deliver the final package. That's been so much fun and very rewarding for me. What about y'all? Let me know what kind of things that you're doing creatively that are enriching your lives.
Yeah, put it in the comments. Like, I know that's not running specific, but creativity fuels you as a human. You are a whole human outside of a runner. Yes, this is running content.
No, I get some great thoughts while I'm out clearing my mind.
Exactly.
On a short run, during a workout, whatever, is where inspiration usually strikes me.
Exactly. Which leads to wisdom. That's a very wise statement, a very wise thought, like that when you go out on a easy run or whatever, a bike ride, etc. Even swimming sometimes. Swimming's tough because you can't write the idea down. At least when I'm cycling and running, I can say it.
Everything out.
Yeah. But we like to end it on something wise because again, we're whole humans, and I'm constantly learning as I'm failing, and I'm failing way more than I succeed. The most wise thing I've been doing this quarter, we're doing this every few months, every quarter, every season, is I'm not doing a marathon. Again, I know like this is very marathon, but the marathon took over my life way more than I thought it would. So I learned so much from that marathon, and honestly, I'm only gonna do one a year. I might break that rule this year because of the top of this episode where we talked about undertraining versus overtraining. I actually want to see if I could hold my fitness for this year, maintaining a level of pretty decent fitness, and then only ramping it up for 6 weeks, as I said before, because I learned so much of how not to do the marathon.
Yeah.
And it was so many failures where I was like, even the water for the marathon, because I don't do long races, that was my first marathon in 7 years, I totally forgot how I was going to fill up my water bottle. It was about a week before, because when I do long runs, I can fill my water bottle at every water fountain, every water station on the park runs that I do. I would go, that's the water station. And I went, I can't stop and fill up my water. I'm gonna lose 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I gotta make sure that random volunteer can pour the thing. They have the jug, the pitcher ready. Like I'd have to put multiple cups in. I'm like, yo, I can't do that. I had one of those gel flasks, the soft flask. That thing ain't gonna stand. So I have to open it. I was like, whoa, how am I gonna? So then I said, oh, cool. I'm just not gonna have a water bottle. I'll just go to the drink station after 13 miles, 21 Ks, because that's when it would run out. It was a cool day, so I didn't actually need that much water. But with the gels, I needed the water. So I'm at 25K mark. What's that? 14, 15 miles. I run for my first water. I get it. I'm doing 650s, 415s, sub 3 hour pace.
Splashing.
There's no walking because every time I walk, I'm gonna lose 15 seconds. So I'm like splash, 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 splash. I go, so 10 seconds in, I go, okay, I'm gonna drink. And I've got literally 50 mils, like a little slide. I was like, what am I doing? Okay, I was like, next time I'll get a full one and I'll like run like this. Like, so I'll run so that it doesn't jump, right? So I'm running like this, almost trip, goes out, I'm like, I literally am taking down gels at the 35K mark, or 22 miles in, taking down the chews, sorry, not even gels, because I decided to go with chews.
Yeah, the blocks, yeah.
The Cliff blocks, the Cliff Bar blocks, dry. I'm like, I missed the water, dry, and I'm like, I went, do I go with no carbs, or do I go with no water? And I said, I think I need the carbs.
Yo.
So
man.
I'm running, dry mouth, I'm like, and I'm just like, oh my God, where's the water station? Where's the water station? Where's the water? So yes, I have learned that I'm gonna run with actually a water belt. Because I saw the pacer,
yeah.
I went, he has a belt. And I hated the belts before. Because I was like, oh, the water, I actually hated the water flask. Because it was something I had to hold. And I was like, I'm gonna do the belt, as much as I hate the belts. So I've learned so much from that. That's one thing, the training, etc. I don't need as much volume as I thought to be fit. This is still in the test phase. I'm still experimenting. I'll let you know come October, November if I do it. So that's another thing I wouldn't say I'm wise on, but I'm experimenting on. I actually can get away with less volume, probably 25 to 35% less volume, and which is time, which is great. And I probably won't be as tired.
And reduces the risk of injury.
Yes. Yes, or just absolute burnout. And just overtraining, which I actually did hit some mild overtraining syndrome. I've had it really bad. That was a mild one, and luckily, so yes, that's a lot of learnings from that marathon. How about you, man?
For sure. Well, I mean, even just on that, I too was very against carrying anything until I've had trip ups going to the aid station. It's like, oh, this would have all been solved if I just carried my, okay, I get it now. I get it now. But what I'm really leaning into is a statement I heard from a friend. Would you rather be right or would you rather be successful?
No, right or rich. Yeah. Sorry, successful. Let's just say rich. We'll just, sorry.
And however you want to slice it, because in a lot of cases, you may know that and it becomes an argument and you're back and forth, and then you know what? I don't want to do business with you anymore. Or this is going to sour the relationship. And sometimes it is just best to swallow that pride and say, you know what? I know I'm right, but that doesn't actually matter right now. How can we push forward anyway and still achieve the same goal? And it's like sage wisdom from a man who has definitely been here before, a few years my senior, and kind of imparting that down. It's like, because once upon a time, a younger, more opinionated Remy would not only insist that he's right, but outline exactly why I'm right.
Yeah.
And then I'd not see you for another year, 2 years, or whatever, because I had to prove to you. Or, you know what, that's fine. If we come back around to it, we can agree to disagree. How can we still move forward? And that has done so much for relationships, partnerships, business, all around, just to keep things moving and keep trending up. I'm happier and certainly wiser for it.
So again, absolutely agree with that. And one thing that, if you try to be right, the crazy thing is that you're never gonna know, or you'll rarely know if you piss someone off.
Right.
And if you piss someone off, they then won't give you another opportunity later. So outside of relationships, or outside of your main partner or family or whatever, I guess if you piss them off, they just won't talk to you. But if you have maybe a business, someone that you do business with on a semi-regular basis, every 6 to 12 months, someone you work with, they will subconsciously not invite you to the next thing or give you an opportunity. And you won't know that. They might not even know that. They're not going to consciously know that. But now you have lost any chances of luck, any chance of serendipity happening because you were a jerk. So
any referrals, any future run-ins, any possibilities, and they may not be doing it on purpose, because just like marathon times, the people that really care about you don't care about the time. They care about how you feel and how you make them feel about it. Right? So take that to heart. It's not really about all this and that, and I have to prove it, it has to be this and that. No, let's focus on the human side of it in fitness, in business, and relationships. Let's just be good people.
With that said, man, thank you for doing another episode with us of This
Thanks
or
for
That.
coming out, man. Appreciate having you.
This is season X now. There's no more seasons. Anyway, there's a season 3 if you've been following along. I don't know, this is like the 15th one we've done.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, it was 6 and 8, 6, 8, 40. Yeah, there's like 16. This is number 16. I'm not even counting anymore. We're doing these every few months. And I flew all the way to Ethiopia for this. Again, I'm probably gonna say that multiple times here.
And with Daren being here, you know I had to show him around. So check out Remy Be Real to see the vlog.
Yes.
As we go around, see some of the sights, try some of the food,
Yes.
and get some of Daren's raw reactions of being here in Addis Ababa.
Yes.
Till next time, y'all. It's been real.